guys, and we're back with another episode, going over Picard. I'm Jeff.
I'm George, and this is Season 3, Episode 3 of Star Trek Picard, called 17 Seconds. And this was really, really good. And,
I think it's the best episode so far this season.
Yeah, I think so too. So we end up finding the Changelings are back.
Yeah. There's a lot of new stuff that's back.
Yeah.
Or I guess, not new stuff that's back, a lot of stuff that's coming back to bite them in the ass, I guess to say.
Like in that scene where they're talking about the end of the Dominion War, and yeah, we find out it was, they don't say him by name, but they were talking about Odo.
Yeah.
When Worf was talking up really nicely about this changeling that he knew, it's like, yeah, if you watched Deep Space Nine, you know that the one changeling that anybody could have trusted was Odo.
Yeah, the one that wasn't trying to kill you.
But yeah, so I guess at the end of the Dominion War, there were a bunch of changelings that were not happy that they lost.
Yeah, they decided to become terrorists.
Yeah, and so that's the problem that they have.
Or stay terrorists, maybe?
So I'm wondering if they're not bringing in the issue of the Undine like they had in Star Trek Online.
Ooh.
Because if you remember in the game, they were absolutely talking about changelings that were fighting against Federation because they were pissed off. And so, yeah, we find out that Jack Crusher basically dies for a few minutes.
Yeah, yep. Also, the captain didn't look all so hot himself.
No, I mean, he lost so much blood.
I'm not entirely certain his doctor didn't want him to die.
Right. I wonder if he did die. We don't
know. I already looked at that.
Yeah, it's like, we don't know if he's... But, yeah, so Picard pissed Riker off a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
I don't think I... Have you ever seen them that cold and just...
Oh, yeah. We go from Picard telling Riker, oh, yeah, you might want to start calling me number one, to...
removing him from the bridge.
Yeah, saying you might want to remove yourself from the bridge.
You've killed us all.
You killed us all. And that was fucked up, because they were already screwed the moment they brought out that portal gun. I mean...
They were outgunned, they were outmaneuvered, they were outclassed in every aspect as far as the equipment that they had versus what they were facing.
Yeah, that Neo-Constitution ship had no way to fight effectively against the Shrike. They were screwed from the get-go. There was nothing that they had that could have repelled any of those attacks.
And arguably, they were out-captained.
Yeah, like these were literally, like Beverly Crusher says, Jean-Luc sized enemies.
Yeah. And
they were screwed. And
if they were in the Enterprise, I think they would have won.
Yeah, yeah, Riker goes, yeah, this isn't the Enterprise. Yeah, it's the Titan, and yeah, it's just another ship of the fleet.
Which you would think with a name like the Titan, like it would be a massive warship, like, oh!
Remembering that Riker's command was the Titan, so it was a predecessor to this ship, which was a completely different class. This one's the Neo-Constitution class. Its predecessor was the Luna class. So, yeah.
The Luna class. See, you got a class named after you, Luna.
Yep. And so they had no chance against that frickin'...
Do we even know what it is yet?
No. So we don't know yet just who the factions are. It's starting to come out a little more obvious what's going on. Like the Changelings are definitely behind this.
Or are they hired guns?
I think they're behind it.
You think so?
I think they're behind it.
You think they're going to be the main villain of this episode or this season?
Maybe.
Maybe. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean there's still some villains that we haven't seen yet that the trailers for this series show. Like we know Laura's going to be in it, and of course, if Worf and Raffi are right about that, this being a distraction for what they really took from Daystrom, I bet you it was Laura.
Well, so when Worf said the comment when the Changeling was getting interrogated, how long has it been since you've connected with? I don't remember the exact.
The Great Link.
Yeah, the Great Link. My immediate thought was, oh, it's a Borg.
No, so
And I kind of got hopeful because that'd be kind of a cool little.
yeah, no, that would have been the collective. No, the Great Link was the basically this planet where like the ocean was actually a bunch of changelings.
I remember it now, but yeah,
and it was weird. Like, can you imagine going to a planet, seeing an ocean, but realizing it's not a fucking ocean?
No, I mean, but it'd be kind of cool though.
Yeah. What I thought was neat was when Worf was pissed off at the dude and he just
disintegrated him.
Or
not disintegrated him, but like
put him in so much because whenever they get attacked or they get hurt,
they have base
to,
form.
They moment part of that their body turns into liquid real quick while they work on reshaping.
Yeah.
Because remember, they're liquid; they're not solid. They can't, If you hit them hard enough, it's like hitting water. It makes waves.
And it's Worf, so he hits hard.
Yeah, he sat there and squeezed that idiot's head, and all of a sudden it's like, and it looked like
it was Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yeah, it was the most. It looked like what it did was it looked like a moving puddle of puke.
Yeah, or something after a long weekend of drinking.
You know what? I think I've seen something like that in my toilet after eating a whole bunch of stuff I shouldn't.
Taco Bell?
Ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still eat ice cream. I don't care, lactose intolerant or not. I'm not giving it up.
Yeah, I had ice cream on my
How about the big drop where the doctor tells Jean-Luc that she told his son all about him and encouraged him to go see him and meet him, and he didn't.
The way I understood it is that's not like she was only thinking about it, but then things would happen.
No, so she told her son that she should go see Jean-Luc.
Oh, yeah.
And her son chose not to, but he's acting like his father abandoned them. When in reality, if he knew about it, if Crusher knew about his father and made that decision for himself, his dad didn't know he existed. So who abandoned who? Who has the right to be really upset there?
Well, Picard didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
Like, he didn't even have a chance.
Out of the three of them, the only person that has any right or reason to be upset is Picard, because he got that ripped out of his hands.
Yeah, and the one that everybody should be mad at in that group is Beverly, because she's the one that instigated it all.
Yeah!
I mean, let's just be honest.
I get there's inopportune times, but how hard is it to say, you're a dad?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. She raised him. She had every opportunity to not only explain who his father was,
but did.
But in a positive way.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of definitely looks like she painted him in the light of somebody who abandoned them.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. That's why Jack rejects his dad, because the whole time growing up, Beverly was that toxic mother that constantly said, "Your dad's a piece of shit."
I don't think she called him a piece of shit. I think she said that his job was more important than their family, and he chose Starfleet over them. This is the way it seems like he painted it.
Yeah, but he didn't know there was a family to choose.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why Picard was pissed, because he was getting mad because she had used all of the years of him confiding in her because
against him
about his father was not a good father and abused it. Like we explored all of this in season 2, but yeah, his father was not a good
terrible person.
I mean, he didn't want to be anything like his dad. He was terrified that he would be like his dad if he became a dad himself. And 20 years later, Picard now realizes that was never going to happen. And yet, 20 years later, it's 20 years too late.
Yep, and he finds out that the one opportunity that he had to explore that and to find out for himself what kind of father he'd be was ripped from him without any choice, without any regard, and without any thought.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so this is definitely very interesting seeing.
Which is where I think his desire to fight, go against, like just go in an all-out punching match against the Shrike, kind of comes from.
Yeah, but in that talk that Riker had with Jack out in the hallway was very interesting too. because I think Riker was starting to get through to Jack. Because after that
I would
discussion,
agree too.
after that discussion, all of a sudden Jack was more interested in trying to do the right thing.
And then the look that Picard gave Jack as he's walking out, and has Riker follow him. He doesn't say a word to him, just shoots him that look like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Right, like, you fucked up, boy.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't want to meet me? Good. You won't.
Yeah, and I think that's where that was probably going, but I think that was also partially why Jack started wanting to do the right thing, because he all of a sudden...
I think he's realized that...
I think he's all of a sudden realizing that he didn't have a dad growing up, but there he is,
and it's not because his dad's fault.
and he's about to fuck up and lose, you know, having a dad because he just disappointed his dad, and it still fucking hurts.
I think more so than that, I think he's just not realizing that maybe it wasn't his dad that kept them apart. Maybe it wasn't his dad that...
Maybe he's realizing that maybe there was somebody else that was kind of shaping things into what happened, you know, because, like, Jack's not stupid.
No, yeah.
He's not stupid. He knows, he's very intelligent. He's very good at the things he does, even if some of the things he does aren't very good.
Or very intelligent.
I mean, let's be honest here. Bribing the Fenris Rangers with a case full of guns.
Yeah, not the brightest nor the smoothest movie ever.
I mean, come on now. Like, that's not something that a good person does.
No, but it's something that maybe a smart person could do, depending on...
Yeah, because in that situation, he knew that he had something to bribe with.
Yeah, and what he knew he had what he needed to.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But either way, so they figure out that the ship was being pursued because it was leaking some gas, not Verteron gas, but
the insulating gas around the warp coil, right?
Yeah, it was some gas that starts with V. I'm not going to look it up. It doesn't matter, but
venereal gas.
Yeah, but it was this gas that they didn't need sensors to find. They could have just used.
Yeah, but somebody had sabotaged the sensors on the ship,
so they knew.
Yep.
Yeah, so this was something that was planned ahead of time, like they just knew. And
well, how long had that Changeling been a member of the crew? There's no telling that either.
And how many members of the
crew are Changelings?
Or no, more specifically, how many members of the crew did that Changeling become? Because he could be anybody.
True.
Could have been anybody. They could have entered the ship as a freaking canister. Remember, remember in Deep Space Nine, Odo had no problems with turning into whatever he wanted to.
Objects.
I remember an episode. I'm pretty sure he turned himself into a friggin' table just to listen to a bunch of Cardassians.
I was gonna say, didn't he at one point turn himself into the Snake Eyes cardboard box like crate?
Yeah. So I mean, this Changeling
the old Metal Gear Solid trick.
Yeah, could have come on board the ship in any number of ways, and they never would have known. The only way that they know if there's a Changeling is if they know to look for them.
Well, we obviously are aware that he did not come in as the captain's balls because he has none.
Yeah. So Captain Shaw gets his ass handed to him. Granted,
he was messed up. He was dying.
He was mortally wounded, but before he lost most of his strength, he looked at Riker and said, "You got to send this mess. You're going to get us out of it." And told the ship's computer to transfer command to him. It's like...
Which honestly was probably the wisest idea, and actually probably the only idea that he's had so far this season that's been worth a damn.
Yeah, he's finally done something.
But it was a little bit too late.
Yeah, a little too late. But hey, fucking Riker. Sorry, long day. Riker is the captain of the Titan again.
True.
And
he just exploded an admiral from the from the bridge.
From the bridge, yeah. So,
and his best friend, which still, like, the animosity that was in that scene, the pure raw disdain for having Jean-Luc in his presence at that moment.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the next episode.
Oh, I know. I'm looking forward to it too.
I mean, we know they're gonna kiss and make up. They're best friends.
Oh yeah, and then Worf drinking chamomile tea now, listening to Picard's opera.
Yeah, the most bad word I can't say because YouTube doesn't like it.
Badass.
Yeah, well, badass warrior that we've seen. I think we've seen in the Federation.
Yeah.
Any of the Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Or Star Trek. Sorry, I'm retarded. It's been a long day. With the exception of maybe, arguably, some of the Spock is kind of.
Yeah. Well, he gets
How many fights does
angry.
Spock lose? None.
No, that's true. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Worf is, at least in the 24th and 25th century, basically the biggest badass the Federation has ever seen.
His prowess is martial combat. Is his martial skills.
So we find out that he's definitely Rafi's handler in Starfleet security.
And does he have a little feeling there for her? Because I mean, most people he wouldn't really give a shit if they got themselves.
No, I wonder about that because he did that. Yeah, he saved her life. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in the next episode. And so we're going to stop this video, and what you're going to see next, if you are our subscriber on Patreon or OnlyFans, is going to be our extended commentary.